hiphop.com here with Pras. What's going on with you, brother?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me, man.
All right. Glad to have you, man. You got a new EP out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I wasn't even aware that it was out at the time I was approached with this interview, and then I listened to it and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He coming with the new flows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, new vibe.
Talk about it a little bit.
Coming from music, hip hop, you're always gonna have a affinity for it, no matter what you got going on.
Yeah.
And the good thing about hip hop is grown, right? So, my generation is still active. Well, like I think the generation before me, after a certain age limit, you couldn't go. Just people wasn't trying to hear it.
Yeah.
And I think now we evolve with it. A lot of great people doing some great things. So it was just a quiet EP, just putting out there. It wasn't trying to do a big bang thing, whatever. Just kind of like get your feet back wet out in the streets and just let people just vibe with it, let them, kind of like discover it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, did you, it's funny because I actually subscribe to Tidal. I subscribe to all of them. And usually there's like the new releases, things like that. So do you have to, this is probably insider info, but do you gotta like cut a little check to get prime placement or nothing like that? Okay.
There's some, not for Tidal obviously, they gave me love, so big up to Tidal for that. But like I said, I wasn't trying to do anything, but then there's things, I don't care who you are, like if you want to get the front page of iTunes, you weren't there for a month or a week or whatever, you probably gotta give them something, you know what I'm saying to you. But you can always work it out depending on who you are.
Yeah. What made you do this EP? Like, what inspired you to drop a EP in really, 2018? It's been a couple decades. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just, like I said, man, the vibe felt right.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, just let it live in the universe.
What about the vibe right now that made you decide to do it today, this year?
I think this is one of the best era for music as far as like everything. You know what I mean? Not just artistically or just financially, just everything, you know what I mean? It's a good vibe, man. It's all about creativity, and if people rock with it, they rock with it. They don't rock with it. There was a couple years ago, like in my generation, you had to have certain criteria to even think about putting out an album. Today, you don't need none of those criteria. You don't need to be signed to a label.
Right.
You don't need the hottest producer. You just gotta catch a wave, you know what I mean?
Right. So what made you call it wave culture? What was that?
Cause it's so funny. I'm seeing a lot of people, doing certain things. Some people are exploiting the culture, and some people are adding to the culture. And I was like, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm just gonna say, yo, listen, I see everybody talking about the Paddocks now. I was the first one to talk about Paddock back in your MTV Cribs.
Right.
And so if I even remember that.
I don't even know what that is. You're gonna have to explain.
Your MTV Cribs?
No.
Oh, Paddock the Watch.
Right.
Well, you see everybody rapping about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the Hermes of watches, like really high-end, exclusive, been around for 200 years. But every rapper now is talking about it because it's exclusive. It's the hottest thing to have. And in certain watches, you gotta fill an application to get it.
What?
There's certain Paddocks you gotta fill an application. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So I was like, yo, I'm the watch king.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's just have some fun, wave culture. You know what I mean? So just representing what's going on in the culture right now.
So let's talk about what you just mentioned. People. I don't know, culture vultures, appropriating the culture, or riding the wave, whatever you want to call it. Hip hop's been popping for a long time, but it feels much different now than, say, when the Fugees dropped or DMX or whatever the case may be. It almost feels like it's slowly being taken away from us, kind of like rock and roll. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's being taken away. I just think because one thing about hip hop, it's our DNA. I think some people are trying to borrow from it. They can never steal it from us though. Rock and roll, they was able to steal from us because it's an era where there was a time where black people couldn't put their faces on the albums, right? And so when the white man came in, they started playing the guitar and started playing the drums, they kind of like moved us away from that. So then we naturally went into this rhythm and blues, what they call R&B, right? And so we went with that. But then in the late 70s, there was a generation, late 70s, early 80s, there was a generation that felt like all the music that's playing on the radio doesn't reflect that generation at that time.
Right.
And hence the birth of hip hop. And so, yeah, you're gonna have people that's gonna copy.
Right.
Well, come on, man.
I don't know though. It's a lot of copiers, and they
There's a lot of copiers,
get
but
a lot of love.
there's a lot of what you call clones.
Right.
And they look. If you blink your eye, you're like, this shit is real. But if you really, oh, okay, that's a clone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying too. So, and it's not a race thing, anything like that. It's just more like I'm not a forefather of hip hop, but I remember hip hop, the birth of it. Yeah. Like there's a generation here that can say they don't know what cassettes are, right? They're in what they call the digital era, like, right? So I know hip hop like when it wasn't getting played on the radio, right? When you had to only listen to one time a week at midnight. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm from that era, So, you know, I'm a little bit more sensitive to it when I see someone appropriating the culture. By the way, it don't just have to be a white person. Right. We got our own people that's killing it too. Yeah. So benefiting off of it and not not giving anything back. So it ain't just about, you know what I'm saying to you? There's a lot of people out there exploiting that shit. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You rap very contemporary on the EP. That's what I would call it. Okay. Somewhat like some of the younger artists. Okay. What made you go that approach rather than, let's say, a classic hip hop approach?
It's not just an approach. It's just kind of like you listen to music out here, and you just naturally pick up some of the stuff and just add my vibe to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's just now if you're not listening to, because I don't really go to the clubs, but when I'm out there, brothers like, okay, all right, let's go. You know what I'm saying to you? You just have to. It's just kind of like adapting to the time without having to not be who I am. You know what I mean?
So you wanted to turn up? Is that what
I wouldn't say really turn up. I don't think I'm turning up. You know what I mean? But it's just like, that whole trap, that whole vibe remind me of Caribbean type of music, right? So it fits natural for me. Like, it's kind of like, we didn't have that in my era.
Yeah.
So now we have that. It's like.
It's still your era, though.
Well, I mean era, meaning like back when the Fugees was like, it's always going to be my era till I die.
Right. Because you keep saying my generation, but you still.
No doubt. But I'm just saying, it's kind of like saying, it's like if Kobe Bryant was to talk right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's from a different class than, say, AD or KD or Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
So, and the way they used, or Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
The way Jordan used to do it is different than what these kids are doing it now. Now cats are posting up doing 3-pointers all day.
Right, you right.
They weren't doing that back in Jordan or Kobe Bryant. You had to be in the paint and post up. You know what I'm saying to you? Now it's like, it's the 3-point. Niggas gonna start shooting from the other end of the court now, man. Yo, cause it's like, you got 7-foot niggas hitting 3-pointers, man. Yo, this shit is crazy, man. You know what I mean?
It's like a whole new species.
Yeah, man. It's like new mutants, man. Just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. It's crazy. Who you feeling, man? Like, I know you. Well, actually, who's on the album? Tell people who's on it. I saw.
Well, I mean, I got Young and May. You know what I'm saying? We did a record last year, so that's on there. I got my homegirl Steph LaCour. She's from Love and Hip Hop.
Okay.
I got my dude Zoe Dollars on there. That's my dude Haiti. I didn't want to put too many people on there. It was just organic, just vibes. You know what I'm saying too. So yeah, that's what I got on there.
Who you like these days? Like, who do you appreciate? Who do you bump?
I like everybody, man. I mean, there's people that I would say I rock with really hard. You know what I mean? Like I love Kendrick. Respect Kendrick. I respect Drake a lot. I respect people who, not just musically, but I respect people who do things in a very strategic way. I think Drake is the smartest one in the whole game. Like, his chess playing game is insane. And obviously I rock with my dude Pusha T. That's my dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
This is his year.
This is his year. I'm happy for him. That's my dude. Stephen Victor. Those are my peoples, man. Yeah. So I mean, I like everybody that's out there, man. You know, but I got some that I really rock with, you know what I'm saying, too, of this movement that's happening right now.
What's the biggest difference, in your opinion, from now and when the Fugees came out? It took the Fugees a while to cook, too.
Yeah.
You know, people don't remember that.
I think the difference is, in our era, it was, you only could do one or two things. You gotta have a hot album and you just go on the road. Here you got a whole bunch of different opportunities between sponsorship, endorsements, doing different things, movies, music. The opportunity is way wider than it was, you know, back in the Fugees day. But also you gotta remember, so I don't know if you know this, but for 75 years straight, the #1 genre of music was rock and roll, worldwide. And then last year got dethroned by hip hop. So that's continuously opening up the range of opportunities, you know what I mean? So I would say that's the difference.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask you some Fugees-related questions. You all right with that?
Let's go.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna try my best.
Did the Fugees ever have any beefs in hip-hop?
No.
So you didn't have any beef with the Roots?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say that was a beef. I think it was more like the way I understood it. Because, you know, Black Thought, rock with him hard, you know, Questlove. I think when we first started, we called us, well, not us, people was calling us that we had we were the best hip hop band.
Okay.
The Roots were a band also, but different from us.
Yeah.
We were more like artists, rappers who happened to play instruments.
Right.
But we weren't necessarily a band. The Roots were a band.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where it's that's where at one point I remember, I think we went to Philly, somebody said something, and then it was just, you know, little.
Yeah, because I was in Philly. I think when
it
popped off.
it popped off in Philly because the Roots were from Philly.
Yeah.
But you know, as we got older, it was like, it was nothing there. It was just like, we never said we was the best hip hop band. We was like, we a group.
Yeah.
That happened. You know, Clef played like 20 different instruments. I play the keys, you know what I mean? And Lauren plays the guitar and sing, obviously, she's a vocalist. And we just kind of like played around. But our main thing, we were MCs who just from the church. Where, like I said, the Roots was a band who just happened to have an MC in the band. That was Black Thought. It's a big difference.
We forgot about Malik B, though.
All right, yeah, I forgot about him. Well, you know why? Because I don't really see him on the Kimmel show.
No, he's not. He's been going.
Yeah.
He's been going.
Yeah.
I used to love Malik B.
Yeah.
What about what about Tupac? Now, I just saw this today.
Okay, so I try to explain it. So Tupac was my man.
Yeah.
Low key, okay? And so, but I was running around with some dudes too back in the day, Haitian Jack, Jimmy Henchman.
Yeah.
Were my guys. They had their thing going on, and because the night Tupac first incident that happened in Quad, I was with him that night before we went to Quad. That night
before he went to Quad.
Before he went to Quad, I was with Pac early on that day.
Right.
I got two calls. A call from Clef. Mario Van Peebles was doing a movie called Black Panther. And we weren't really unknown. We were just starting off. But he had seen the show we did in LA and was like, I'm a fan of these groups. I want them to be on the soundtrack. Right. But we only had that night to record the record.
Yeah.
So Clef calls me and tells me, come to the studio in Jersey, because I was in the city, to record.
Yeah.
Then my other man hit me up like, yo, don't show up to the studio. Don't show up to Quad.
Wow.
But I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, right? But I couldn't go to Quad anyway because I had to go. So then after that incident, at one point, Pac thought maybe I was involved with that whole bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? After he came back out of jail, obviously, and the whole thing, he's on death row, we squashed it. But he had already recorded a record. See, this is what happened. He recorded a record. He didn't release it. We made up, because I was with him 2 days before he actually got killed.
Yeah. At
Radio City Hall. That's when Death Row East came out here. Hammer got signed. We was kicking it, so we were good.
Yeah.
Okay? After he passed away, people just started releasing his joints. And they released one where he's talking about the Fugees.
Yeah.
but it wasn't supposed to come out. If he was alive, it would have never came out.
Yeah.
It was just recorded. That's really what happened.
Wow, that's crazy. And I mean, I can see why it would make that logical connection, because he hated Haitian Jack.
Well, yeah, of course.
Jimmy
Henchman, obviously.
You know, for
right, yeah, right.
Wow, that's crazy. What do you remember fondly or otherwise about Pac mostly? What would you say?
I thought Pac was the most ingenious person ever. I mean, it obviously was conflicted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But innately, he was a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that he got caught up between crossfire. He was just this figure that was he was always in his thoughts.
Yeah.
He's the guy who played chess, and it's unfortunate what happened because he had a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Right? People don't know. People thinking like, this dude was just running around. This dude was not just running around doing whatever. Mm-hmm. This dude was set to be really a real leader on some Malcolm X shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's my memories with him, I first met Pac, it's so funny, I first met him in LA at this Jamaican restaurant that was next to this hotel we used to all stay at. And it was just so, we looked at each other, said what's up, and we just vibed, man. Yeah. It was nothing like, it just so happened that he had met Jack and Jimmy and them before I met him. Right, so I didn't know all the other stuff that was going on till like years later, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But when we were talking, man, we always just be talking about like some deep shit, man, about trying to create like pension for hip hop, healthcare for hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, how come we ain't got healthcare, but actors got healthcare, athletes got healthcare, but we don't really have healthcare, So we was on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's my memory.
You think he was assassinated? Or do you think?
Assassinated is a big word, man.
I don't know though. I feel like they are picking off leaders that have potential before they display that potential. You know what I mean? Pac, you just said it. He was the future Malcolm X.
No, he was, but
or similar.
He was, but I don't know if he was assassinated because I don't know if they believe I don't know if they believe that he was. When you go to assassinate someone, I want you to understand what that word means, man.
Mm-hmm. The government. Wait a minute.
When they go to assassinate you,
mm-hmm.
you have to. It's a lot happening. But there's a lot that has to happen prior to you getting assassinated. Mm-hmm. And I know he was on watch lists and everything because I have people in the agencies, the alphabet boys, whatever. I don't believe he was assassinated.
The government said, and we can get off this immediately, they want to prevent the rise of another black messiah.
Right, I agree with you. But at the same time, in their mind, they saw him as, because sometimes you gotta understand how they work, right? They work like this. Can we control him? Mm-hmm. And what do you need to control a man that has success and power? Drugs, money,
right.
women, right? So you look at Martin Luther King, he was a reverend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, come out, he had side pieces, whatever. Who doesn't, right? But they knew he can't be bought.
Right.
So you gotta get rid of that guy.
Yeah.
Malcolm X, he gonna light up this whole street. Because the worst kind of person you want is someone who was a pimp, made money, drugs, and then become saved. Right. That's a whole different type of animal because he done already been through there.
Right.
You see what I'm saying to you? So they know they had to clip this dude because he's not even trying to talk peace.
Right.
At least Malcolm was talking peace. This guy talking about, revolution will not be televised. Right. What? Right. We just started television. What do you mean it's not going to be televised? It's only been out for like 10 years. You feel like it's not going to be televised, right? Right. So they had to get rid of him. Well, Pac, I think the problem with Pac is 1 minute, dear mama. Next minute, this is in Atlanta when the shootout.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Then the black of the berry, right?
Yeah.
And next minute, your man is like, fuck the police, like, you know, he's. Yeah. So they're like, whoa. He's probably gonna do it for us. We don't even have to do it because it's gonna happen for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like what's happening in Baltimore with the whole. Remember the riot that happened? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what the police are doing right now, right?
Nah.
They fell all the way back. So now the crime went up because their whole thing is they see it happening. They're like, whatever. You told us we was going too aggressive. Right. Boom. You see what I'm saying to you? So it's kind of like the same thing I believe with Pop.
Gotcha. All right. That was wow. That's a lot. Small world, man.
Because you gotta remember, had he not stomp on that kid in Vegas, that wouldn't have happened to him.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying too? At least not that night.
Yeah. True.
Right.
Yeah.
And I heard a bunch of other. I don't even want to get into it, but you know, because I have people on the inside. Mm-hmm. I heard he even in that car, he didn't have to go out like that.
What do you mean?
Like the way he. I don't want to get into it because this will spark some real crazy shit. But I heard he could have been saved. That's what I heard.
Right.
When they were shooting at the car, like he had an opportunity to be okay.
Okay.
But the situation kind of like made it crazy.
Okay, all right. Did you guys ever have a situation with the diggable planets?
Nah.
No?
Never.
Okay. I'm fishing right now.
Deep sea diving, boy. Yo, you on some Jack Cousteau shit right now, yo. No, we never had no. Yo, we was a beefless group, man. If anything, if any situation happened was cause it would have been sparked by me. I mean, like because I was more like the guy that was really on the streets. I'm not a street guy, but I was the guy who's been around street dudes. You know what I'm saying to you? So even with that whole Pac shit, if I never rocked with Pac, he would have never went in the studio to record where he recorded.
Right.
You know, the only other situation we kind of like had one time, and it was because of me also, was remember Ja Rule, the Damager?
J. Rule, yeah.
It was a little bullshit incident here and there, whatever.
Okay.
But
I just saw him in Amsterdam.
Yeah. But it was we never had any beef with anyone, man. We loved everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay. Can you how do you feel about your contributions to music? Like, it still exists. Like people still refer to the Fugees as that group that we never got what we felt we should have got from.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's one of those things, man.
Do you ever? I mean, I know me. I'm an overthinker. Man, if I make a small mistake, I'm a replay it over and over forever.
Yeah, sometimes.
Not to say you made a mistake.
No, I know what you're saying. You know, I tend to kind of like not dwell on things because it can drive you crazy. You know, there's obviously a lot of different things that could have happened with the Fugees, that is. But I also look at it like everything happens for a reason.
Right.
And I accept it. You know, it's so funny. There's a saying that goes, man planned, but God laughs. Right? It's like, I had a whole different plan when God was like, yeah, sure you do. Okay, I'm gonna show you, you know? So it all happens for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
But the little moments that we had, I think it was impactful and it was great.
Do you ever get upset, or were you ever upset with Lauren and Clef? Because it seemed like their relationship is what really caused the group to implode.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say I was upset. I told Homeboy this shit was gonna pop off like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So, hey, it's what it is. You know, you wish things would have went a different way, obviously, but look, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta lay in the bed that you made. So part of that was, I was involved with it also in the sense of like, I wasn't in a relationship with her, obviously, but I'm talking about I was in the group. Maybe I should have done something a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could have done, but maybe I should have tried a little bit harder than versus this. You know, in this world we're in today, I see a lot of things posted on the net. You know, you'll see people like people be getting stomped up, be getting beaten up, whatever, getting hurt, whatever, and people just stand back idly, don't say anything, right?
Or recording.
Or recording. Like one nigga was dying and he's recording it while he's drowning, which is crazy to me. Like because he couldn't. While he's recording, that's why he couldn't swim.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's crazy, right? So I'm saying for me, my approach was, yo, I'm not in this.
Yeah.
This is between you two. You guys figure it out.
Right.
But I probably should have stepped in and really be like, yo, we got something here. Let's, you know what I'm saying, to at least try. Not saying that it would have changed the course of things, but at least try. You know what I mean?
I know y'all had some friction. You and Clef even. Are y'all cool now?
Yeah, man.
Everybody's cool.
Everybody good. I mean, everybody grown, man. Nobody thinking about this. Life's too short, B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's. Look, man. I tell people this, man. When I reflect on like, what would I be doing right now if it wasn't for hip hop? Mm-hmm. All of us, right? Hip hop employed a lot of people and made a lot of people rich. You take that out of the equation, we'll all be fucked up right now.
Yeah, that's real.
I'll probably be married, hate my wife, hate my kids.
Yeah.
Like, God, man, why you do something else for me, man?
Right.
You know, right now I'm happy, B. Life is beautiful, it's great.
Yeah.
So, there's nothing to, and by the way, everything I got going on is because of them two. Even though I started a group, I founded a group, I brought the both of them into the group, but we all affected each other's lives.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to forever be indebted to that.
Yeah.
So short of him killing my mom, sleeping with my wife, I ain't married, but if I had a wife, him sleeping with my wife, yo, I ain't got no beef with the dude, man. We good.
Can you help Lauren get on time a little bit?
On time
with
on
the
what?
shows?
Yo, you know what's so crazy to me? So I had a friend of mine call me, yo, could you give me some tickets? She's going to, she's performing this weekend. Long Beach or whatever. Not Long Beach, Indiana. What? No, out here somewhere in New York. Jones Beach, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So she's performing this weekend, 20-year anniversary of Miseducation, right?
Yeah.
So my people, yo, man, let me get some tickets, whatever. So, all right, let me try to figure it out. Cool. Then he's like, yo, you think she gonna be late? Yo, I said, for the last 20 years, there's been continuous, not rumors, reports about her being as much as 3 hours late. Right? So I said, I thought all you guys accepted the fact that she's going to come late. That's part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's late, if I hear you late just 2 times, I'm not coming to your shit no more. Right? You guys keep going to these shows. She keeps being late. And you keep complaining. That's someone who's just who's a glutton of pain. Like, if you don't want her to be late, don't go to the show. But you go to the show willingly knowing 2 hours. I'm cool. I'm gonna stand here for 2 hours. Buy as much drinks as I can. Boom. Just accept that. I mean, right? It's just what it is.
Yeah. It's all good. Love to Miss Lauren Hill. Love to her, man.
She's great.
Yeah, definitely. Don't want to talk slick. But I actually went to her 40th birthday party. I was so blessed. That was my first time actually meeting her.
Okay.
In real life.
This was in Jersey.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
So, no slick talk.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. What? I know you said it's the you feel like this is the best period of music. What are your thoughts on hip hop in general right now? Like, there's a whole push and pull between the older guard and the newer cats. Some hate, some are trying to figure a way to ease the tension. What are your thoughts?
I mean, look, there are facts to what's happening now and what's happened then, right? There's greatness now and some bullshit now. Just like there was some greatness back then, and it was most certainly some bullshit also, right? I look at it like a lot of people I think that are hating are probably just because maybe they're not thriving or haven't found a way to find a place. And not just saying, well, because they continuing the legacy of hip hop, right? Yeah. There's a generation now that wants to see the hip hop back then. So now you got people at a certain age that are becoming like the Rolling Stones, the U2s, the rock and roll. Your man, not Aerosmith, Rolling Stone, Mick Jagger. Yeah. How old is Mick Jagger? Like 100? Yeah. Mick Jagger, like, still getting it. Yeah. They go on the road, packed out stadiums. Yeah. Because those fans cherish that piece. It's a piece of art. It's like a Picasso or Van Gogh. Yeah. And that's starting to become for hip hop. But the only reason that's becoming for hip hop, because this generation heard or did research and said, oh, this was what's that? Oh, I love the vibe of this. Yeah. But I can still rock with what's happening in this moment right now. You see what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So for me, I feel like I don't see why people front. Look, obviously there's some shit that you like. The fuck is this shit? Yeah. Right? That's just what it is. But then overall though, I think this is think of it like this. We sold 20 million records. Yep. On a label. Okay? Yo, you imagine if we sold 20 million records independently today?
It's crazy. I mean, I can't even imagine. And you're probably cutting out the label.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So each of us would walk away like $150 million, basically. Right. Yeah. So why would I be mad right now? Right. Yeah. In my era, if put it like this, when we were out, so the old guards before us, because we had the same issue, the old guards before us was like, yo, bro, I got into a fight with KRS-One.
Really?
On stage.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we did kind of fuck up though, but what we used to do is, because we didn't have a hit record yet, so and we know Lauren could sing her ass off and spit. So what we used to do is we used to take instrumental of whoever's on performing with us and just do their shit. Yeah. Before they come on. So we took 1, 2, 3. Right. The crew is called Refuge. Chris was like, oh no, y'all didn't. Right. Y'all took my hottest shit. Right. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, he came on that stage. What? Yeah, him and his brother. We got into a little whatever, my drummer was there. And we cool now, but I'm just saying, like, but there was every generation gonna have that, you know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So I feel like, yo man, it's all we're doing is enhancing the art form, and it's enough for everybody to thrive in. Right. So why not collaborate and be like, yo, y'all do you? Because what we did, this greatness, I feel like it's like saying, Kobe can say my class probably produced more Hall of Famers than your class, right? So I can say my class probably got more icons than this class. Right. But this class could be like, well, we're making more money than y'all made. Yeah. We could do more things. Okay, cool. You got your advantage here. We have our advantage here. You got your disadvantage here. That's what it is. But you know, at the end of the day, it's all under the banner of hip hop. Yeah. That's how I look at it.
Okay, real talk. You've been able to maintain off the mic in a way that is surprising. Like we were earlier talking about Obama, meeting Obama, other dignitaries and stuff. How have you managed to do that? What's your secret sauce to surviving outside of hip hop?
I remember when I was 13 years old, 13 or 14, and you know, kid growing up in Jersey. I remember the first thing, somebody gave me $25,000 cash to produce a record. I didn't know anything about producing. Right. Me and my boy Clef. Yeah. Okay. And I remember saying to myself, once I got my record deal a couple years later, I said to myself, I never want to go back to that place.
Right.
Because this is, once again, I don't want to keep belaboring the point, but hip hop's a gift to black people. Keeping it all the way real with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna use this as a point of entry and just make sure I can do other things and maintain and just make smart moves. Look, we made some mistakes here and there, but I think my smart moves outweighed the mistakes and make sure I can, today, like, you know, I can sit here and say, I haven't had a record on the radio in over 20 years.
Right.
But if you see me the way I'm pushing in LA and New York, you think I got a #1 record on the radio, streaming, everything.
Yeah.
Right? I'm in my Wraith, Paddock, Soho, Loft,
right.
Flying privately, because I made some smart moves.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying too? I took advantage of what God gave me, which was, listen, black people, they took away your 40 acre and a mule that was promised to you. I'm gonna give you this.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
And I took advantage of that, and that's really what it is. It's just being smart. So see, that's why these hip hoppers, what we should be able to do for this generation is give them the source on how to continue your wealth. Because at some point, this is slow. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. Nothing is finite. Facts. Some point, there's gonna be a bell curve. Right? The key is, make sure you don't go all the way down. The key is, you know, you're doing this. Maybe every little while you can do this, but you maintain it. That's the key. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I always wanted to maintain that.
Okay. Can you talk about your new venture, the platform? Is it something you want to?
No, it's not a secret, but basically, it's Black Church. You know, it's gonna get really deep in September, but we're launching a blockchain smartphone. In a nutshell, this phone is going to pay you when you use the phone.
Right.
Giving back to the culture. You know what I'm saying? So every time you use your phone, you're getting paid. It comes. You're gonna have a digital wallet. Comes with a debit card where you can transfer your tokens into cash. You can get cash at the ATM machine. You can go spend money on it and do whatever. We're giving back to the culture. First time ever. It's gonna be epic. That's all I can tell you right now. It's crazy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
The streets gonna love it.
I bet they will. Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
What got you interested in technology?
Man, technology is the future, man.
Yeah.
You know, I went to college, but I didn't go to college for the man's giving us time up. But I'm just saying, I just know that it's the future. Yeah. And we as people need to be more receptive to it and not just be the ones that's getting abused by it. Like, we need to start innovation. We need to start creating our own things and have our own Mark Zuckerbergs, our own Steve Jobs, because that's how we're gonna have a seat at the table. That's how people gonna respect you. If you ain't bring nothing to the table, like, what the fuck I need to? That's when you're gonna have more police brutality, because you know what? They're like, you don't contribute anything except for you dance and you throw a ball. Who cares? How are you impacting lives? So that's why I feel like it's important. I always thought it was important. And I hope what I'm doing is going to continue to bring more people of our color to get into it and want to do more innovative stuff. Because, you know, it's so funny, a lot of us don't know the things that our ancestors did. Black people, a black person who invented the traffic light, for example. Right. A black person who invented peanuts. Yeah. There's a lot of things we invented.
Not the actual peanuts.
Well, not the actual peanuts, but
I know what you're saying.
But listen, let me say something to you.
Like 1,000 uses for the peanut.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, who's that nigga who discovered fire? Because before that niggas was living in darkness. Right. Once the sun go down, you was done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And cold.
And cold, you know what I'm saying? Some niggas was like, yo, I need to figure this fire shit. Rah!
Right.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Changed the whole thing, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right about that. But think about the black man who gave Thomas Edison that little thing that allowed the light to last, right?
People don't know
People don't know these things, right? Yeah. So, once you know these things,
Edison gets all the credit.
He get all the credit. he gets all the credit. Like, yo, he tried 10,000 times. Damn, really he did. That the reason he didn't try 10,000 in one time, because the nigga came was like, yo, you might want to put this shit in your fucking light bulb.
Oh my God, yo, this is funny. This is so funny. Oh my God. Yo, speaking of fire, that just reminded me. You talk about saving Old Dirty Bastard's life on stage.
It was just an incident.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it was an incident at MTV Awards. We had pyro going on, and you know, Old Dirty's always in a different space. God bless the soul, man. Yo, I saw he was about to, cause I knew at what time the flames was about to pop off, the explosion.
So people don't know, you know, in 1998, you had a hit record, Ghetto Superstar, with you, Maya, and Old Dirty.
Right.
And you were performing it at the MTV Awards.
Right.
And the setup had pyrotechnics. And
he was about to get cooked.
Yeah.
I saw it coming, man. He was walking towards.
He wandered over.
Yeah, I'm just glad it didn't hit me while I was trying to, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then right after I caught him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, God bless his soul, man.
Yeah,
He went out too early.
Yeah, definitely. He's to this day. I mean, I tell anybody, he was always my favorite Wu member.
He was your favorite Wu?
He was my favorite Wu.
Not Method Man? Not Raekwon?
Ray came for me. Ray was like later because Ray was the longevity. Like one, obviously, Built for Cuban Links was that, right? But man, Old Dirty's first album to me was really my favorite album.
Yeah, Old Dirty.
Of that
I
era.
think they all were special.
They were all special. They were
Right.
all, you know, I related to Dirty on a whole nother level.
Okay.
The drug dealing stuff was dope, but I wasn't. That wasn't.
Okay.
That wasn't my life. You know what I'm saying? So not to hit that what he was, but he was wild. He was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how we were rolling back then.
Okay.
So I always respected Old Dirty, and I interviewed him once, and he was off the chain.
Yeah,
It was a short interview, but he gave me like just so much sound bites right off it.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, look. What's next for you, man? What you got? You gonna drop a whole album? What's the EP? I mean, people dropping too many EPs, man. I want a whole album.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the EP right now, but sometimes you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? So you don't want to. You know, you put the EP, get a vibe going, and then you put out the album. You know, so I'm definitely got an album that I'm doing a soundtrack album coming out this year.
Movie?
Yeah, to one of my movies. This is a documentary basically, but I got it's Mary Rick Ross joint, fire.
Acting?
No, in the song.
Song. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Got Neo on the soundtrack.
Okay.
I got my man Zoe Dollars. Got to give up to the Haitian Zoe.
Mm-hmm.
Davies.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the movie about?
It's a documentary about one of my dudes who became president of Haiti.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Sweet Mickey.
Yeah.
He was Donald Trump before Donald Trump.
What? How so?
In the sense of like a populist becoming the president. Right?
Oh
no, not. Yeah, I know everybody was like, whoa.
Just got silent.
Yo, everybody was like, yo, calm down, bro. Where you going with this one?
Oh shoot!
Well, I ain't know Donald Trump can garner that kind of reaction, man.
Yeah, nah, you stop everybody. Oh snap! Nah. But wait, I feel like I saw this. Is it done already?
Yeah, it's done.
I feel like I saw this.
Did you come to the screening?
Yeah.
Oh, Showtime?
When was it?
Well, this is like 3 years ago, but we're putting it out.
Right, I was there.
Okay, yeah.
Like, wait,
we're just not releasing it.
Oh,
we're releasing
okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
it never came. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, I saw that in the theater.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, you doing another one?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. What do you feel about Haiti, man? I mean, the last headline I saw was riots in Haiti over gas prices, and you know, what are your thoughts on Haiti these days?
I mean, it's a failed state.
A failed state? What do you mean by that?
You know what a failed state means?
Mm-mm.
You heard of Syria?
Mm-hmm.
It's a failed state.
Mm-hmm.
You heard of Iraq at one point?
Yeah.
That was a failed state. Failed state mean where like the country and the government can't function. And there's no form of functionality to it. They have a leader, but the leader basically is ineffective, inept. I mean, I think Haiti's a failed state. In my opinion, and I don't get in trouble for this, but you literally have to, because about I think 70% of the population 25 years and younger, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's about 15 million Haitians, and 75% of them are 25 years and younger. So my opinion is, anybody who's 50 and over, machine gun them. You gotta just purge that whole place and start all over, because it's too much corruption down there. They just don't get it, and it's unfair to a group of people to be suffering for as long as they've been suffering. You're talking about they've been suffering for 100 years, but really, it was cool up to like the 80s. So for about 30, 40 years, man, it hasn't been no real stability. Even when there is stability, there's no real economic stability. There's no job creation. So you got a lot of people who what they dream of, their aspiration is maybe one day having a decent meal. That's sad, bro.
Yeah, right.
There's no opportunities. There's not, and it's not the country itself that's lacking the opportunity. It's the ones that's running the country, right? So my main thing is grenade all of those people.
Yeah.
Boom, throw grenades at them. Get rid of that, and then start fresh. I don't mean to sound provocative, but
I feel it. What do you think about the idea that Haiti's paying the price for the revolutions?
I mean, maybe there is some like, well, we're gonna do certain things, but at the end of the day, your destiny's in your own hands, bro. You already know the system, though. You already know they do not like you. They do not want you to thrive. So what? That should still not stop you from doing what you need to do. There are people, there's countries that's been in worse predicaments than that. Like when I hear people like, yo man, I ain't had this, I didn't have that. I'm like, do you know there are some people, some very successful people that went through a whole lot worse? Look at Oprah's story, man.
Yeah.
What she went through. Yeah. It's incredible to be where she's at.
Yeah.
She didn't say, well, this happened to me, so I'm going to fall back. I'm just going to give up on life. No. Yeah. So I don't ever believe in that. Yeah. Oh, the system trying to do. Okay. Maybe some other country, they gave them money. They didn't want to give you any retribution. Who cares?
Yeah.
Go build your own wealth. You got resources. Yeah. You got some of the great minds here. Why you not have us come back and add to what you're doing to try to thrive? Because we know, you know what I mean? Like, but they won't allow us. Like me, for example, because I was born here in America, I can't have any political office. Not that I want to, but you should want me because I have all the standards. Yeah. I've been educated here. Yeah. I've been successful here. Let me bring some of that over here. Let me tell you something real quick. Do you know after World War II, right? When America went and caught a lot of the enemies, they brought them back. Some of the smartest scientists that was building the bomb, Hitler's bomb and all that. From Germany, they brought them here. Yeah. That's how we was able to get a man on the moon, besides the young black women that helped them also, which they didn't tell us that in the classroom. I had to see a movie 30 years later, be like, damn, a black woman helped this dude get to the moon? Yeah. Right? But the point I'm saying to you is, what America knew is you want to bring the best and the brightest here. That's how this country becomes the most powerful country in the world. So Haiti should say, we're going to get the best Haitians here, trying to bring them back over here to help us grow. Give us your thoughts, your expertise, your secret sauce, right? That's how you win.
Yeah. Would you, if you were able to, would you? If you could go back and run for office or...
No, I don't want to run for office.
Okay.
No, because the only way I would be able to do it if they allow me to gun everybody down.
Wow. You serious about that?
I'm very serious.
Okay. I'm going to leave that alone.
I'm just playing.
Let's talk about Donald Trump.
I'm just playing.
No. But what you met Obama, and we talked a little bit about the politics in Jersey and things. You've navigated those war, like, again, to me it's real sophisticated how you've been able navigate those political waters too and impact. What are your thoughts on things now? And because you made me think about America, because we always talk about, sort of like what you said, like kind of like make it happen, pull yourself up, you could do it, versus the policies in place here that's either slow that down or stop that. Mm-hmm. I talk to people all the time about it, and Donald Trump is obviously a
hot topic.
What are your thoughts on that now? Whereas a lot of, like, for example, affirmative action has been basically erased from the government.
Well, it's not erased,
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Look, Donald Trump. My opinion about Donald Trump is he's definitely a firecracker, obviously. But let's take Donald Trump out of the equation. I think what Donald Trump has taught us, I actually like the fact that Donald Trump is here. Because I think we got too complacent. I think people think because a bunch of people running around here don't say the N-word in your face, don't say your country is a shithole place, thinking it's all good. At the end of the day, that's how they really think. It's just that your man don't care. He's just like balls to the wall. Yeah. But that's how they really think. And so you got a chance now to really see the scope of what they say within themselves. Because before it was like, nah, he couldn't. Because Bob seemed like a cool guy.
Right.
Doesn't seem like he think I'm a nigga.
Right.
I don't think he'd ever say that. Right. He just told you, yeah, that's how we see you dudes.
Yeah.
We don't care about you. But see, what do they care about? At the end of the day, it's about the economics. Yeah. All right? You gotta have your economic weight. That's the only thing they respect. And if you don't understand that, see, we don't understand that we're one of the largest consumption groups in the country. We don't know that, right? We're only supposed to be 13 to 15% of the population. But yet in 2016, we spent over $1 trillion. We consumed over $1 trillion. My friend, I need you to understand what that means. That's greater than the GDP of Canada, greater than the GDP of Russia that have 100 million people. Right. $400 billion less than the GDP of India of 1 billion plus people. Black people in America is damn near the backbone of the economy and the GDP of America. Right. But we don't know this, right? So because we don't know this, and because we don't have anyone in innovation, we don't have anyone that's inventing things right now, that's creating things besides just entertainment. Right. And even entertainment, we still don't own anything. You just saw Puff the other day complaining because there's no black executives and something that we created that's running the whole planet. Yeah, so you got this man over here telling me, who's not even from where I'm from, what hip hop should be. Right. Who the fuck is you? Yeah. Yeah. So, but then again.
And Puff is a powerful dude, and to hear him say it is even
because it's real.
Yeah.
So the whole point I'm saying to you is, I feel like what Donald is doing is a wake up call. Yeah. Like, you niggas better wake the fuck up. Stop depending on they to help you. Yeah. You feel me? Absolutely. And I also feel like when there's opportunity for us to show, we need to show. That's why Lightweight didn't really agree. And this is my man, I didn't agree with the fact that Jay didn't want Meeks to go to the White House. Right. Because this is a chance where you could have had a group of people who perceive you a certain way for you to sit here and be like, do you understand that what black men are going through in the criminal system, what it does to our, not just the individual, but his family, his loved ones, his children. It's a chain reaction. I think Meek could have had a perfect chance to show that he ain't just a dude that was popping Willie on a bike. Yeah.
But now I'm not.
That's just my opinion. I'm not saying.
Trump advocate, devil's advocate. Get it? He also could have used Meek too, the way they used Kanye.
They didn't use Kanye. Nobody forced Kanye to say what he said. No one can force you to say something that's out there, okay? And I always said what Kanye said. I just think if you're gonna say something like that, that's a fine line. You better have the most incredible explanation because you on a very slippery slope with that. Mm-hmm. So you can't just put the shit out there and not really explain to the audience what you mean by that. Now I understand what he was saying, but most people don't understand it like that, right? So I'm saying to you, if Trump was using Meek, then Meek should use him. That's because you're playing chess now, right? It's like, I'm going to show a country that I am the culture. And all your kids are listening to me. And they know all my lyrics. Right. And I want you to show I'm not just some kid running around here. Listen, I got a family. What I'm doing is art. It's no different from what these other guys are doing, and you're not saying anything about it when they doing some foolish bullshit. Yeah. Why are you pointing this out at me? And this would have been a chance for him to sit down with his crew and say, okay, what message we're going to convey? Because you're not really going there to talk to the president. Right. You're going there to talk to the country. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? He's just a conduit. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's a wasted opportunity, in my opinion. I feel you. Because you know what? There could have been he could have had a bunch of constituents, Trump that is, that probably perceive us a certain way. And if your man Meek came in and spoke his heart by what I went through just for popping Willie, she prevented me from feeding my children. Now my son could grow up, he sees me like that, he could grow up and go do the other direction. I'm not there to guide my son because this woman wanted me to put her name on a rap record. Are you kidding me right now? But guess what? There could have been one guy who normally probably would have thought every black person is a nigga, would have been like, I like what he's saying. You know what? He makes some sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how you get to people because the whole thing is this. You got two sides, right? Mm-hmm. You got the Trump side and you got this side over here, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is we're not sitting down to understand each other. Absolutely. We sitting here, he's a nigga. They're a racist. Yeah. That's what we keep hurling this shit back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. But if we could just sit back and be like, what's the problem, man? What is it about me you don't like? Because I'm black? What is it you don't like me? Because I'm white? Okay. Look, I like horses and rodeos. Well, listen, I like my Lambo and all that shit. What's up? You got a problem with that? Oh, you like your Lambo? Oh, you ain't trying to take my place? Oh, okay, we cool. You know, it's just communication. There's no communication. There's a communication gap. Yeah. You see what I'm saying to you? So to me, Trump give us an opportunity for us to step up our game. That's how I looked at it. Because keep saying he's the worst president, he does this and that. How do we advance from just keep doing that? Yeah. See what I'm saying too?
All right. I salute you.
All right.
Definitely. Appreciate you.